When the Wii was first revealed, people pondered about all the different possibilities of the Wii Remote. It couldn't be used just to play games, it could be used to simulate flying a plane or shooting a gun. The Wii saw its share of first-person shooters during the system's lifetime. While they varied in quality, the ability to point and shoot at enemies offered a level of accuracy you didn't have using a control stick. Of all the FPSs released on the system, one that sticks out is Medal of Honor Heroes 2. Released for the Wii and PSP in late 2007, Heroes 2 was the 12th entry in the Medal of Honor franchise, a series that started strong but saw diminishing returns as EA pumped out sequel after sequel. The game received mixed reviews upon release and was quickly overshadowed by other shooters that released around this time. Ask a Medal of Honor fan about it and they'll either forget it exists or say it's one of the franchise's weaker entries. Medal of Honor Heroes 2 wasn't the first Medal of Honor game on the Wii or PSP, but it was the first Medal of Honor game I ever played. I remember getting this game from a local GameStop when I was 16 or so and having tons of fun with it. A few months ago, I was browsing the aisles of my local game exchange and noticed a copy sitting in their Wii section, so I bought it to see if it still holds up. Is this oft-overlooked entry in the Medal of Honor franchise good, or is it worthy of a dishonorable discharge?
The tide of war finally shifted with the successful landing on the beaches of Normandy. But hope for a quick victory changed when a winged, pilotless fuel bomb struck London. Hitler called it his reprisal weapon, the V-1 rocket.
You play as Lieutenant John Berg, a member of the OSS tasked with investigating reports that the Germans are developing a weapon. It turns out it's a V-2 rocket, and the Germans want to arm the rocket with a nuclear warhead and launch it at America. It's up to Berg to make sure this doesn't happen.
Thanks to you, Lieutenant, we've crippled their underground operations. Still, the big question is, what are they really up to?
As you can tell by the elaborate 3-sentence summarization, the story is as deep as a puddle. It's as basic as a World War II story can get, and the characters, what few there are forgettable. John Berg might as well be called John World War II, and outside of cutscenes and radio chatter, there's little in the way of character interaction. I never felt any sort of stakes trying to stop the Nazis from building their rocket, and once it's over, it's over.
Watch out, the place is crawling with Germans! Got it! Ha! Thought you were smart, huh?
Medal of Honor Heroes 2 is yet another World War II shooter. Nazis? Check. M1 Garand? Check. 2-weapon limit energy rating health? Check. It hits the beats you'd expect from a World War II shooter and is formulaic with a capital F. What makes the gameplay of Heroes 2 distinct is the controls. After games like Red Steel and Far Cry Vengeance failed to come up with a solid FPS control scheme, Heroes 2, and Metroid Prime 3, showed how to make shooting bad guys with the Wii Remote fun.
Germans!
Gunning down Nazis feels great with the Wii Remote. The game offers an assortment of options to tweak the controls till you find your sweet spot, plus 2 control schemes, Elite and Zapper. Elite is the default setup, while the Zapper is designed around the Wii Zapper, the piece of plastic that came with Link's crossbow training. Both setups are user-friendly and intuitive, as are the different gestures. To throw grenades, you press B and flick the remote like a baseball. To use the bazooka, you put the Wii Remote over your shoulder and aim with the control stick. If you find a radio, you need to tune to the right frequency by twisting the Wii Remote. I've talked before about what makes a good Wii control scheme and what makes a bad one. The Wii Remote and Nunchuck only have so many buttons, and if not handled correctly, playing the game can feel clunky. This is an instance where the Wii controls are solid. You can tell the team put a lot of thought into creating a setup that's simple but manageable, and little inclusions like a targeting indicator for thrown grenades mitigate any frustration you might expect to face. If you're playing on the PSP, you use the control stick to move and the face buttons to aim. It works, but it lacks the precision of the Wii Remote or even a second analog stick. The Wii controls elevate what is otherwise a been there, done that type of shooter.
I've good news and bad news for you, Lieutenant. The good news is you're close to finishing your current objective. However, I now have a new secondary objective for you.
The game's 8 levels, 7 on the PSP, take you through locales like a war-torn beach, military installations, and the bombed ruins of a city. Objectives involve typical fare like destroying enemy equipment or gathering intel. New objectives are added as you progress. with optional objectives taking you off the beaten path to complete a task. You receive a rank at the end of each level, and how many objectives were completed impacts what type of medal you'll receive for your efforts. Several missions feature one-off set pieces like destroying anti-air emplacements with an artillery cannon, or navigating a minefield using the Wii Remote as a mine detector. The minefield segments are a particular highlight, if only because of how tense it can be hearing the Wii Remote speaker go off when you're about to go kaboom.
Oh shit. Incoming!
This is a World War II shooter, and as expected, you kill a lot of Nazis. The weapon roster includes the usual suspects like the Thompson, the M1 Garand, the MP40, and the STG-44. Scoped weapons like the sniper rifle require you to twist the remote like you're adjusting the scope, which is genius. It also features what might be one of my favorite video game shotguns in recent memory, largely because there's an option to pump the shotgun after each shot by shaking the nunchuck, which is so 2007, I love it. Combat is enjoyable if predictable. You've shot Nazis before, but you haven't shot them using a Wii Remote. Using the Wii Remote to gun down goose steppers makes the predictable action feel less predictable, though the game is in no way a cakewalk. Medal of Honor Heroes 2 can be surprisingly difficult, not because it's challenging, but because the game loves throwing endless waves of Nazis at you to try and slow you down. The enemy AI fluctuates between smart and dumb. They're smart enough to throw grenades, but not smart enough to dodge your grenades. They'll gladly gun you down in seconds, but they'll run around like headless chickens as they try to find cover. The iffy AI and spawning issues reach their peak during the last couple of missions, which run you through relentless enemy gauntlets and cheap enemy placements. Besides the campaign, there's multiplayer and arcade. The online multiplayer servers are long dead, which is a shame because at the time, the game's 32-person multiplayer was considered by many to be one of the Wii's best online offerings. The absence of multiplayer is made up by the inclusion of arcade. Arcade is exclusive to the Wii version and is an on-rails reimagining of the campaign. You mow down Nazis and complete objectives while you're guided from one point to the next. Arcade mode is a great inclusion. Not only is it perfect for the Wii's pointer function, but it's a fun remix of the campaign. My only gripe is the lack of co-op. Rail shooters are best enjoyed with a friend, and its omission is inexcusable.
And good night!
Medal of Honor Heroes 2's presentation is a mixed bag. The brown and gray battlefields are a friendly reminder you're playing a mid-2000s military shooter, and there's nothing about the level or character design that stands out. Enemies disappear as soon as they're killed, so you'll see their bodies do an awkward death dab before despawning into the digital afterlife. On the plus side, the game runs at a smooth 60 FPS and the weapon detail and reload animations are well done. The sound is decent. Guns sound loud and it's charming hearing certain sounds like reloading emanate from the Wii Remote speaker. The voice acting is average at best. Nothing about the performances is remarkable, though I do like how chatty your allies are. Their gung-ho attitude and endless one-liners give the EDF a run for their money.
You got him! I got one! Leave some for us!
The music consists of tracks from previous Medal of Honor games. It's serviceable, but it makes you wish the game had its own original score. What's strange is there's little music during the campaign. You get a brief cue at the start of some missions, followed by the sounds of gunfire and German war cries for the remainder of the mission. But when you play through a level in the arcade mode, there's music blaring at your eardrums. It's inconsistent, to say the least.
You're so close to wrapping this up, Berg. Now all you have to do is place charges on the support columns. It won't give you much time to get out, but it will ensure the facility is destroyed. Then I suppose you're hoping Captain Harris will send you back to jolly old England for some R&R. Good luck with that. Lieutenant Rafferty signing off.
Medal of Honor Heroes 2 isn't what I'd call a masterpiece, but I wouldn't lie if I said I had a lot of fun with this one. On PSP, it's a World War II shooter that does nothing new, but on the Wii, what was once well-worn feels fresh again due to the tech it's on. I love the Wii and its motion controls. When handled correctly, they could be fun and exciting, but often it felt like a tacked-on afterthought. This isn't the case with Medal of Honor. The motion controls take things we've done before, like throwing grenades or using a sniper rifle, and makes these actions feel more engaging than they would be using an ordinary controller. Even those who aren't big on motion controls will appreciate what they've managed to come up with. It proved it was possible to make a competent Wii FPS and create controls that were accessible, not difficult. The game has its issues. The throwaway story won't win you over, and the artificial difficulty might make you throw your Wii Remote at the TV or your PSP out the window. But Medal of Honor Heroes 2 is a case example of taking old ideas and giving them a new spin. At least on the Wii. The PSP version is fine but forgettable. Medal of Honor Heroes 2 gets a 6 out of 10.